Microphone check. Microphone check. 1, 2. Microphone check. 1, 2. My mic sounds nice. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if my mic sounds nice. Put a 2 in the chat if my mic don't sound that nice. It's a culture check. Your boy having Hollywood. And boy, do we got one planned for you today. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on the IE Network. Make sure you get on Twitch or join the Patreon. So when the feed breaks down, you'll be able to hear everything. All right? So tonight on the Culture Check, we're really going to be commenting on two things. One is DJ Academics. Okay? The quote, number one voice in hip-hop media. Well, he seems to be going at it with everybody in hip-hop media. All right? Seems to have an issue with everybody in hip-hop media that is not attached to his shenanigans or his way of doing hip-hop media. And we're going to tap into exactly the evolution and exactly what happened to DJ Academics. We're going to get into that. Also on the Culture Check, you know, I did my phone calls, did my digging after this video footage, which I had already saw years ago. But a lot of people take this as new. You know, a lot of people were, not even 25 years old. And they're thinking this is some breaking news. You know, the footage that we're still talking about that happened 25 years ago. That is the footage of Beyonce sitting on Marc Schaffel's leg. Right? Now, what a lot of people don't know, well, we'll get into that about Marc Schaffel, because somebody asked me, well, then where is it? If the footage has been out there, how did you see it in 2001? And it wasn't even on YouTube in 2001. You're right. There wasn't. I didn't see it on YouTube. But once YouTube was formed, he then moved it to YouTube. And that's still been 16, 17 years. I believe around 2000, maybe 5, 6, he put on YouTube. And then after that, you saw the cropped out version. Okay. But there's a reason people saying, well, we saw the cropped out version. But Marc Schaffel had released the full version in the past. Why? Because he was trying to get a reality show. He was going to do a reality show where unseen footage of Michael Jackson would be showing, right? So this footage is not new. It's been out there. So a lot of people think, oh, well, it's a new angle now. There's always been shot from that angle. You was always able in the beginning to see her sitting on his lap. He had the whole conversation, hey, come sit on my lap, blah, blah, blah. He had all of that. All right, there's a culture check with Heaven Hollywood. Make sure you guys share this stream. Give it a thumbs up. Share this stream with at least 2 people. Let them know Heaven Hollywood's got the craziest stream about to happen right now. We're going to get into this Beyonce footage that got released. And we're going to ask the question, why now? I got the answer for y'all too. See, a lot of people going around. And like I said, I'm not putting my handsome face on the screen today because I want people to concentrate on the material and on the content. All right. Once I share my screen, we'll be doing just that. So let me see. This mic stand, man, I got to get a new one. I got to get a new one, dog. Let's see what it's looking like. See what the camera's looking like. Huh? Yeah. So we're going to get into that. And of course, we're going to get into what's going on with DJ Academics as he is calling for what he's calling real journalism. He went off on what's the brother's name? Charles. He went off on Sean Markman and said that they're not real journalists because they are not covering what's the dirt. What's the dirt, who did all this digging and said he was presenting facts, did all this YouTube stuff and all this investigative discovery, and did all this explaining and still came up with nothing. Because the only thing he proved, what's the dirt, proved was that, somebody who was involved in a current lawsuit with Stake, right? That's Drake's lawsuit with Stake and Aiden Ross and all these people. The only thing he proved with all that digging was at one time, Roc Nation was in business with the guys who are funding this lawsuit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They were involved with them at one point. Okay. But what does that have to do with right now? How does that prove that right now Roc Nation is behind this current lawsuit? It doesn't prove that. What they want, their type of journalism is, well, we're going to connect the dots, and all of this is coincidence. And there's just not that many coincidences in life. That's the type of journalism they want you to take as fact. Wherein that's not fact, ladies and gentlemen. The point is, the entertainment industry, there are some lawyers that they may have worked with Roc Nation. They may have been connected to Donald Trump. They may have been, you see Alex Spiro, one of Jay-Z's personal lawyers. Jay-Z isn't his only client. He also has Elon Musk as a client. So just because something happens, and it comes up that Jay-Z is using, Elon Musk is using Alex Spiro, you don't see people saying, oh, Rock Nation. So Elon Musk and Rock Nation are in cahoots. No. People are going to go with successful, high-profile attorneys. When you're successful and you're highly profiled, you're going to work with more than one person. And you're going to work with more than one person in the genre. That's just the way it happens. All right? So all of this, oh, you're not covering this because you're not a real journalist. No, you're not a real journalist, because what you're doing is gaslighting and allowing a person who is anti-Jay-Z, which is this what's the dirt. That's all they do, is they go and just add a bunch of people who like this, who likes to push the same narrative that he pushes. That's what academics does. And if they're not on the same page with him, oh, all of a sudden they're not journalists. They're on Rock Nation's payroll. They're stool pigeons for Rock Nation. They're being paid by Rock Nation. They're Rock Nation's mouthpiece. He can go and go get a purse from Drake, can go get flown out by Drake, have dinner with him, and Drake give him googly eyes as Drake gives him jewelry, buys him gifts. Then he comes home and he knows once he does that he knows he's going to unleash him onto the American public. And because I came back here, girl, and gave you all these jewels, girl, you better defend me. You better defend me, girl. I done flown you out. Gave you my OBO neck. I got the hottest bitch in media wearing my chain. He got the hottest chick on the mic wearing his chain. OVO, you better go back and defend me. So everything he's accused, and we know Charlemagne says that for the longest, Jay-Z is his favorite rapper. Academic says Drake is his favorite rapper. So whenever he is biased, which is all the time, towards Drake, he says, oh, I was a fan. I was a fan. It's a difference. Everybody knew I was a Drake fan. I rock with Drake. My 5 favorite MCs are Drake. Fuck you talking about, nigga? So he uses that as his excuse. Well, I'm a Drake fan. Well, Charlemagne was a Jay fan. He's never held that. He's never tried to hide that. Charlemagne's always been a Jay-Z fan. Whether he's working with Jay-Z, whether he's not working with Jay-Z, he's a Jay-Z fan. Now, just because Drake don't trust you enough to give you a formal position, you can't blame that on Charlemagne. Drake knows that he could pretty much buy Academics a chain, take him out for dinner on a dinner date, give him googly eyes, and he knows Academics will go back on the radio or on his pod or wherever he's at and defend Drake to his death. Of course he's going to. He got the hottest bitch in the game wearing his chain, his OBO chain. So of course he knows how to make Academics defend him without putting a check in his pocket. Right? Academics will do it for free. But if Drake asked him to come on a business venture with him, you don't think he's going to say yes? Stop it. He would do anything to have a business venture with the one he loves. He would do anything. Charlemagne was a Jay-Z fan of his music. And Jay-Z happened to see what he was doing with Black Effect. He happened to see that Charlemagne defended Jay-Z along the years. So just like how Drake flew out Academics, well, Jay-Z didn't flew out Charlemagne, but he just said, hey, you're invited to the Rock Brunch. You'll be able to get information. And, if there's a project, an investment, something where we could possibly make some money together, I'll leave that opportunity open for you. As opposed to, I'm going to buy you a chain and take you to dinner and give you googly eyes and text you at 4 o'clock in the morning, giggling. As opposed to that, Jay-Z will just say, I'll put you in some positions where we can make some money together. Or you can get this connection or that connection. Academics isn't getting that. And that's why this turn in hip-hop media, I said it before, I'll say it again, is really, to me, 95% his fault. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you send this stream at least to 2 people. We about to get into it. What's up, Darius? We about to get into the evolution of DJ Academics and exactly what happened. What happened, I'd like to say. What happened to DJ Academics? Right? I want to take a step back because regardless, and we're going to get into DJ Academics because a lot of people talking about hip hop media and what a bad look it's going through and what a bad shape it's in. Well, hip hop media is in the shape it's in and the landscape of it pretty much almost single-handedly due to DJ Academics. I give him 95% of the blame. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So for everybody that's saying, oh man, we need hip hop media back. We need real journalists. We need to... All that went out the window when they continue to crown DJ Academics as the voice of hip hop media. What's up, Sherry Sugar? And before I go into it, I want to give him a little props. I'm going to give him some props, right? Because whether you like him or hate him, right? You really can't tell the story of the modern hip hop media without mentioning DJ Academic. So I'm going to give him his props on that. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? He was able to carve himself out a place in modern hip hop media history. Modern hip hop media history. So we won't mention him when the book on hip hop is written and the media section we start talking about greatest hip hop media of all time. He won't be in those first few pages. But going towards the back of the book, he will at least have a place in the book. Now, it won't be near the front of hip hop media. We're not going to mention him with the Angie Martinez's and the Mr. Magics, right? We're not going to mention him with, the Marley Marls. We're not going to mention him with those people, the Funkmaster Flexes, the Miss Joneses. And then I'm just really naming East Coast people. Then all the hip, the big boys. And all of the people who has covered hip hop, on their shows, the gentlemen down, the DJs down in the South. We won't talk about him with those people, but when you get to the second section of like the new media and the newer generation, good, better, and different, he will be the one probably talked about the most, even more than Joe Budden. Even more than Joe Budden. I think when it's all said and done, even though Joe Budden I give credit to for launching celebrity or rapper podcast, even if he wasn't the first one to do it, which I don't know if he was, he probably was, but even if he wasn't the first one to do it, he was the one that really made it relevant. He was the one that really put podcasting on the map when people were laughing at him saying, "Oh, you're a rapper. What are you doing with a podcast?" Joe Budden happened to see everything coming. And that is why, to me, I always would consider him the modern face of hip hop. But Joe has kind of took a back seat, seemingly willingly, to academics. He's kind of taken a back seat to academics. He's kind of said, you know what? I don't want the crown. I think Act should have the crown. Come on with the police sirens already. Where it used to be Joe Budden was the one leading the culture as far as in the digital era, right? But I want to take a step back. I want to take a step back, and the reason why I'm not going to be able to show his channel because I don't know whether he's the one who struck me or not. So I don't know whether I can show his channel, and I'm not even going to take a chance. All right. So we just show pictures. All right. So I wanted to take a step back and I want to look at the man before the millions. Because if you've been following academics for actually as long as I have, this is why I sit back and like, how did we get here? Because I remember when he first started, I remember following DJ Academics. But if you've been following DJ Academics as long as I have, you may remember a completely different version of him. There was a time where he was just a vibrant, young, hungry internet grinder. He carved out a brand new niche using nothing but a microphone, a screen recorder, and a relentless work ethic. What's up, Uniquely? That's what made me follow academics. I remember I used to tell my brother, hey, you seen this DJ Academics guy? And that's what, I didn't know anything about the war, Chirac, and this, that, and the third, right? I was only referring to his hip-hop news videos. The videos where he would come on, he talk, he would come on and he would speak the news real fast, and you would see the loops, the constant loops of the footage in the background. Make like a 4 or 5 minute video and get up out of there. And I remember hearing them a couple of times, like, hey, you know what? This is cool. This is cool. This is unique. This guy's got something. This is way before any of the podcasts, and just from his videos, his faceless videos. DJ Academics is actually, because when I was doing block TV, and I come from the DVD world, the digital TV world, I was always in front of the camera. I thought you couldn't make it work. It couldn't work unless you were on the camera. And I do have to say, I have to credit DJ Academics for letting me think, you know what? I don't have to be on camera. I'm tired of being on camera. I was on camera 24 hours a day on block TV. During interviews, during skits, it was 24 hours a day I was on camera. When I saw what he was doing with his videos, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't have to be on camera. This dude is doing it and he's successful at it. Now, remember, during the beginning, when he first started doing videos, he didn't have the millions of subscribers he has now. He was getting, a couple hundred, some of a couple thousand. A lot of people was in the comments like, who is this guy? But I remember watching, I'm like, hey, this is all right. This guy's pretty tight, pause. Right? So again, he had relentless work ethic. I remember just being genuinely intrigued by him. I liked the videos. I liked the hustle. I'm like, okay, this guy kind of caved out his own niche. Now, at this point in time, I didn't know about the struggles he had breaking into the industry or about any issues he may have had with other people. Right? I just said, okay, I like the videos. I like how he gives the hip hop news quick. Gets in and gets out. Showing the visuals. Entertaining. Talking fast, but you understand everything. Had a sense of humor. So I said, okay, this is all right here, right? But somewhere along the line, the moment his face, the moment that we started seeing and being able to put the face to the voice, that's when things started to shift left. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat out there if you guys can hear me. Let me make sure that everything's still connected. So, hold on a minute, guys. So, thank you, Sherry Sugar. So, get back to what I was saying. Somewhere along the line, once the face got put to the voice, and that was, I was going to say, Everyday Struggle. And then the millions started rolling in. It wasn't, he started turning those million subs into millions of dollars. Something shifted. He went from a passionate entertainer to something else entirely, someone accused of pushing agendas and fragmenting the very culture that fed him. And I remember one particular time where DJ Academics, once he had got, a big deal, he was feeling himself, he's able to entertain all the shorties he probably never thought he'd be able to entertain. Because you can't convince me that he was able to pull women, even, what's the girl's name over on the OVO the OVO groupie. Even women like as lower level as Selena Powell. Like, he wouldn't have been able to pull a chick like Selena Powell if, he wasn't making a little money. And even the girls who would link up with him, he's now able to smash chicks that he never thought he'd be able to smash. If he was just regular Livingston, what's his name? Livingston, whatever. Livingston wouldn't be able to smash those girls. DJ Academics was able to do it. Right? So, the very culture that fed him, he was fragmenting it. So that's why I'm asking today, what exactly happened to DJ Academics? How did the kid looking at a laptop screen telling us what's going on in hip-hop, how did he become the main thing that is wrong with hip-hop media today? Now, let's go back to the beginning, before the mansions and the streaming setups and the celebrity feuds. When Academic first started uploading to YouTube, okay, his numbers You know, they were nothing like they are today. Let me see if I can go to his page. Hold on. I don't have to. I don't have to play anything on the page because, again, I don't want to get dinged. I'm going to say this is the main one. Videos. The oldest video. So when he first started, okay, he was really just a gamer. Right? So let's take a look at that. His first videos, he wasn't even doing hip hop. Right? So this is his video. This is his page. The first page, the King Academics page. I'm going to assume this is the first page. It's probably not even his first page because this says 11 years ago. I believe his first videos was way older than that. So let me see something here. 11 years ago, this is definitely not his first page. All right. So let's see. That's his biggest page. Probably the DJ Academics page. Okay. This is the one. All right. I don't even know if this is it, but it's saying 11 years ago. So if you go back 11 years, you're talking what? 2015? Nah, I thought I saw him way longer than that. So what he probably did was all of the war in Chirac videos, he probably removed. That's what he's probably done. He's probably removed his very early videos because of all the backlash that he took. Now that he is, big in the media world, he doesn't need the war of Chirac thing hanging over his head. And a lot of people came at his neck, so it doesn't surprise me that he removed a lot of videos, right? This is the page that has the 2.83 million. Let's see when this was created. This one says joined 2015. I could have sworn he joined way before that because he was on Twitter way before that. Let me see something here. Because he joined Twitter 2009. So I'm sure he's had videos going back 16, 17 years. Let me see here. Academics. War on Chirac. So let's see if anybody still has any of those videos. So he pretty much changed it to the one Chirac page, right? Let's go here. Oldest video says 12 years ago. So what is that, 2014? So these were videos from 2014 and joined 2014. Still feels as though it's longer than that, but so these were his first videos. But when he first started, he was gaming. He was really a gamer. All right. But this war in Chirac is what really put him in the hip hop space. You see videos here that's only got like 22,000 views. Lil Durk spares Tiger's life ends beef. Right? 15,000 views 12 years ago. 8,000 views 12 years ago. 8,000 views. So he was pretty much covering all of those artists from Chirac and the Chirac Wars with each other. He was covering those. Don't hear? Y'all can't hear me? Hello? My mic looks like it's working. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Did my mic go out at any point? Let me know. Because so I'll switch to my phone. Okay. Sherry said she can hear. Did my mic at any point go out? What's up? What's up, Nap? Can anybody tell me, did my mic at any point go out? Let me check on YouTube because everyone else is saying they can hear me. Remember, if you're watching on Twitter, you can click open chat and you can chat. Okay. Hold on here. Let me see. Y'all not answering. I'm gonna have to find it for myself. Y'all not answering. I'm gonna have to find it for myself. Sounds loud and clear to me. Sounds loud and clear to me. All right, so I can hear myself. So maybe you had to turn me up. All right. So again, when he first started uploading YouTube, his numbers were nothing like they are today. We were talking about a guy just scratching and clawing for a few thousand views. He was a college kid, doing commentary on a couch, talking about hip hop gossip, local beefs and web trends. But what made academics stand out? What made him stand out and what made me follow him was his energy. He was vibrant. He was an observer. He gave the average internet user a voice, breaking down rap news with humor, voice modulations, colorful commentary. He wasn't a part of the industry. He was an outsider looking in, just like us. This is why I started liking him, because I'm like, hey, even though I was already in the industry and out by this time, right? Because remember, I was actually in the entertainment industry. So by this time, I'd already started my own media company, and things were transferring over from digital TV to, online stuff. And, all the DVDs and stuff like that was pretty much going out and phasing out. And everything was moving to, your office. So why a lot of people, I believed, like DJ Academics was, he wasn't an insider. He was an outsider looking in just like us. When he was doing those things with the war in Chirac, he wasn't on the inside. He was just covering it from the outside looking in. That's the guy who entertained me. That's the guy who got my subscription. That's the guy who got my follow. He represented the pure, raw potential of the internet grind. That's what DJ Academics represented when he first came on the scene. Now, of course, as the platform grew, like I said, he stumbled into what I call his gold mine. And that Chicago drill scene is what changed his trajectory forever. To me, the Chicago drill scene is what made Academics blow up, in my opinion. If you have a different opinion, you can share your different opinion. But in my opinion, it was the Chicago drill scene. Right? He created a satirical, it's like a satire news series called The War in Chirac. Made up nicknames and gave the rappers nicknames like the Grim Reaper for Chief Keef. Or I don't know, was that Chief Keef or Lil Reese? One of them got the Grim Reaper. And he treated actual real-life street violence and the loss of some human life like it was a live-action video game or reality TV show. And as crazy as that was, it caught on. Now look at how he made it through that era. He was sitting safely in a room in New Jersey, thousands of miles away from the gunfire, monetizing the literal death of teenagers in Chicago. On one hand, it was revolutionary citizen journalism that gave national eyes to a localized movement. On the other hand, many people, including the artists themselves, blamed Academics for fueling the fire by treating their beef like entertainment. He incentivized the violence. The more toxic the beef, the more views Act got. And the more clout the rappers received. It was a vicious cycle. But one thing it did prove, that Academics had learned how to turn internet friction into massive numbers. Oh, you can send it to me, Kenji. Thank you, baby. Oh, that's another issue. Okay, so So that's what he did. He proved to everyone that he could turn internet friction into massive numbers, into money. Then his mainstream turning point, because of that, Because of all the notoriety he was getting, because of the views he was starting to get, and because of his clout that he was getting from the internet, 2017, Complex decides to hire him alongside Joe Budden, who was known as the Podfather, to host a hip-hop show called Everyday Struggle, right? Let's see if I can find Everyday Struggle. See if those videos still exist. Right? So here is some of the ones. Everyday Struggle, right? So they probably shut it down by now. But it used to be a channel, right? There it is right there. Still exists. Okay. But that was 2017.
Strength, absorbance.
Hold on. Everyday Struggle. This was the moment that academics finally put his face out there on a mainstream level. He was no longer the voice behind a cartoon avatar anymore. He was a celebrity, or not a celebrity, but a public figure. And with that public figure status came the bag. Millions of subs, millions of dollars, Spotify deals, and direct access now to the biggest stars in the world. The ones that he would cover from the safety net of his mother's basement, as you know, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I know that's what they used to say. Without having to get out there and deal with some of the animosity, because he was safe and secure in his mother's basement, and he never ever had to go outside, and he would still make the bag. The way things are set up now, he never even had to step foot in the bank. Maybe just set his account up. And heck, they do it now, so you ain't got to do that. But that's exactly when the act we fell in love with started to fade. It was right around the time of Everyday Struggle and the success of Everyday Struggle. Remember, they got rid of Joe Budden, and they made Everyday Struggle about DJ Academics. That was, more, even with Joe Budden, that was more like academic show. They tried to, it was Joe Budden with the big name. But they more and more tried to push that to make Academics the face, because Academics was younger and he had that young generation from the war in Iraq. Right? So he had the younger generation. So that's the reason why they said, hey, listen, Joe Budden's a little older. The younger generation, they don't really know about Joe Budden. The only thing they know about Joe Budden is pump, 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 pump it up. Right? And Drake, who is the voice of the young generation, is beefing with Joe Budden. So the young generation don't really like Joe Budden like that, because he was beefing with their king, who at the time was Drake. So a lot of the younger generation, if you remember, Drake fans ran up on Joe Budden. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? The Drake fans run up on Joe Budden. For all y'all who are late comers and weren't around, this was that right here. This was during the beef. During the beef. Some Drake fans thought, hey, Joe, pump it up. They ran up on him as he was in his car. Then Joe followed him. Dangerous. They're filming him as he's following him. But as Joe doesn't stop, now they started to get a little scared. Hey, wait. Oh, man, he's following. Joe goes up to the car and pretty much threatens him. Don't come into my house. What's wrong with you? So the younger generation wasn't really messing with Joe Budden because of that. Right? And that's the reason why they started to move this show towards academics. They made this Everyday Struggle academic show. Joe Budden was fired or he left or what have you. Then you saw people like Star from Star and Buck Wild. He came on to see if they were trying to find somebody to pair academics with. Didn't work out with him and Star. Think they had another person on there, and then they got Wayno and ended up being him and Wayno. Right? I believe it was him by himself for a while. They tried it by himself. They had some special guests, but ultimately ended up with Wayno. And that seemed that, they seemed to work pretty good together. Right? But as I said, this is when the love started to fade. The money and the power changed academics. He stopped being the objective fan on the outside looking in. He became an insider with a massive ego. He started realizing that in the modern internet economy, conflict is currency. He stopped just reporting the news and started becoming the news, clashing with legends, screaming at his webcam and flaunting his wealth. And that's when things started to change. But there was one defining moment that really let me know that, what academics started doing was, because we come to find out that he was shunned or kind of like kept out by who he calls the gatekeepers of media. Ebro, Rosenberg, Flex, those people, as far as New York people go. According to him, he was looking for some help or some guidance from some of the people who were in the game already. And according to him, they shunned him. What's up, Diana Young? I urge everyone that's in the chat at this moment, please donate $2, $3 to the Cash App. Like we said, we're not monetized anymore at the current moment. So just send, help your boy out, support the channel. The Cash App is Heaven Hollywood, $ Heaven Hollywood. You know what I mean? Y'all help the boy out. Now, there was one defining moment to me where academics started to put that gap, that wedge between him and the older generation of hip hop, and also the older hip hop media. He made it so it's us versus you. It's us versus them. It's us new media. It's us young hip hop fans. It's us young art fans of the young artists. Forget those old N words. It's us versus them. They didn't want to mess with me, so what it started doing was taking everything out on the older rappers, the older media people, right? And saying, I don't need them. So we don't need these old dudes. We don't need them. Right? Remember, he went and called the old rappers dusty and broke. Remember that? To me, that is when he put that wedge and basically said, whatever you old cats did, we don't care. It don't matter. Because you're in a space now where you're allowed to, where you can make more money than you could when hip hop was just something that people did for the love of it. Now it's a business and you're making way more money. A rapper who's not even half of a Rakim or half of a Big Daddy Kane or half of a Kool G Rap that's nowhere in their league are making 2 to 3 times more money than those legends made. And DJ Academic's mindset was, what can you tell us? How much have you done for hip hop if we make way more money than you? Right? So it was anybody who DJ Academics had more money than as DJ Academics, he showed them no respect. And according to him, they did nothing for hip hop. They were old, washed up rappers or old, washed up journalists that he's now making more money than. And to me, this was the turning point. To me. All right? LL Cool J, one of those rappers who aren't broke, who isn't dusty, right? The type who academics would have to have no choice but to respect, because 1, he's got more money than academics. 2, of his status, that is the GOAT. And 3, LL don't look dusty. LL's not broke. So we had no choice but to listen to LL. And LL Cool J, to me, this was the turning point that put the wedge between DJ Academics and the elder statesmen of hip hop and what I call the real hip hoppers. All right.
This is something that came to my attention. It came to my attention that a DJ, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't think it's necessary. A DJ basically said that, you know, a lot of the pioneers in hip hop are, you know, they're dusty, or how can they be the person that, you know, invented hip hop if, you know, they don't have a lot of money, or if they don't look or represent like they have a lot of dough, right? Let me explain something to you, and say this for you guys. Don't confuse someone's ability to develop a business model. Don't conflate. In other words, don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture. No one discusses Miles Davis's bank account. We don't talk about John Coltrane's bank account. We don't talk about a lot of even rock musicians, a lot of them. We don't talk about their bank accounts. A lot of great country artists, we don't talk about their bank accounts. This idea that you have to have money or else you don't have any value is a bad idea, and it's kind of like, it's a misinformed way of looking at the world and the culture. There are artists out here. First of all, let me say this. First of all, you know, like, let's talk about like young artists, right? Who I love. I love the young artists. Let's be clear. I'm very much a guy who embraces the young artists. I believe in every generation. I believe in you. I care about you. Let me say this to you though. Today, you could come up with your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your 20-year plan. You can go find a manager. You can find an accountant. You could find somebody that means something to you, you know, to help you. You could find a team to help your career go to the next level. When hip hop first started, there were no managers. There were no accountants that believed in it. Record companies didn't even believe in it. Nobody believed in it. How can you make a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan on something that doesn't even exist yet, that people have never even heard of? So just because a couple of these guys and girls and people out here made songs and made music and made contributions to this culture, or even dancers danced and made these contributions to culture, just because they didn't get rich, just because they weren't able to pile up millions or billions of dollars, does not mean that they didn't make a contribution to this culture. That does not mean that they didn't do something. They created an industry that we all ate off of. They created an industry that you eat off of. When you go out there and you go monetize your brand, when you go monetize your brand, when you go get your whatever and do what you got to do to build your career, when you go out there and negotiate your deals and negotiate your checks and talk tough, guess what? That money, that bread, that food that you eating was created by those same people that you disrespecting. That industry was created by them same people that you call in, you know, foul words, foul language. The people that you're referring to. So my thing is this: it's always good. It's always good to get money. It's always important. It's important. It's important to get money. I agree. I'm all about getting paper. I've been talking about it my whole career. But don't ever, ever, ever confuse being rich with making a contribution to our culture. Don't ever play yourself like that again. Because trust me, you playing yourself. Because without these dudes and these girls who started this hip hop culture, a lot of the guys that's out there talking tough, you wouldn't even have a career. We'd be on the corner with a beer talking about what's the next move we gonna make. So I would say approach this game with humility and be glad and be thankful that these pioneers, you know, these exactly slave mentality. Be glad that these pioneers help create this culture. And let's show them love. Let's elevate them. Let's celebrate them. That's why I started Rock the Bells. That's why I started this movement. So I wouldn't have to listen to foolish rhetoric about people that change the world. These people change the entire world. The whole planet runs on hip hop culture right now. The whole planet, every commercial, everything you could think of is all about hip hop. And there are people out there that started this thing, and I think that they deserve to be honored and respected. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say nothing foul. I'm not gonna go at nobody's character. I'm just gonna say, think before you speak. Peace.
So, and I tell you, because I lived this hip hop thing, every single time I hear that, I get choked up. Every single time I go back and watch that video every now and then, right? I got tears in my eyes now. I get choked up. The part where he says, just because they didn't get rich. And you start thinking about all of the older rappers and all of the legends that created the space that people like DJ Academics and the streamers and the newer rappers are making millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I don't see any of them going back and saying, hey, Marley Marl, here's a bag. Here's $50,000. I know you don't know me, but thank you for what you created. You don't see any of those people doing that. You don't see them going back to Slick Rick. 21 Savage is British, from London or wherever he's from. Slick Rick was the first, hip hop rapper from London, New York via London, that fought for rights for rappers from London to work in the United States. Slick Rick fought that battle for years. I haven't heard of 21 Savage, as much money as he's made in hip hop, saying, you know what? Slick Rick made this really actually possible. That they would allow us to work, rap, make money in the United States without being a citizen. Slick Rick fought for those rights. I haven't heard of 21 Savage going there saying, hey, you know what? Here's $500. Here's $20,000. Here's 10 racks. Just because you made it possible for me to do it. It shows such disrespect to the OGs. When it wasn't for elders in hip hop, they would be working in a 9 to 5. Half of them don't know who Slick Rick or even Rakim is, yet report on hip hop. Exactly. And after LL Cool J said that to academics, is when I started looking at academics different. That is the point. Everybody knows that LL Cool J is one of my 5 favorite rappers of all time. Rakim is my favorite. DJ Run from Run DMC is my 2nd favorite. LL is probably my 3rd favorite. Redman, my 4th favorite, and Jay-Z, my 5th favorite. So LL Cool J, I hold in high regard. Follows me on social media. I met him, had a couple of conversations with him. Real solid dude. And loves hip hop. Loves the culture of hip hop. And when he said that, and I can hear the disappointment and the pain in his voice when he said it, and still never called academics out of his name, never disrespected him. Meanwhile, academics is calling older rappers dusty and look, they're broke. That's when I started looking at him in a different light. Now, that brings us to where he is today. And in my opinion, this is only my opinion. If you guys have different opinion, you can let me know. Academics have become the poster child for everything that is wrong in hip-hop media. He's went from, wow, he created, look at that dude, he created a lane. He showed that you don't have to actually be out you don't have to go to the me. I was going to parties 3-4 times a week to get content. Had to pay to go out to parties, go out to the city, go to Jersey, go to Miami, just to get my content, to make sure I had content. He made it so, you know what, you could still cover hip hop. Oh my God, these dogs. And you don't have to leave your house. So, but when this happened, oh, shut up. When this happened, that's when I started looking at him different. And let's keep it 100, right? Most of these rappers do not actually like Ack. They don't. They don't respect his journalistic integrity. They don't respect him. They all say he's not a DJ. He's never been a DJ. Yet he calls up DJ academics. They don't really respect him. The only reason most of these guys deal with academics is because he's got leverage. Because of the leverage he's been able to acquire through his internet deals and pretty much through his subscriptions, his following. That's why most of them deal with him. He holds the keys to a massive, hyper-engaged, younger demographic. If you're a young artist trying to pop, you pretty much have to F with academics because that's where your fan base lives. Most of the guys that that's gonna be fans of you are listening and watching academics. So if you're gonna blow up as a young artist, you have to mess with them. Right? But most of the time, it's purely transactional relationship. They tolerate him for the reach that he has. They're not hanging out with that. as you see with Drake. Drake uses him for what he can use him for. You don't see Drake saying, hey, Act, let's go hang out. And because of the way he goes about the culture, there is a massive, unbridgeable disconnect between him and the older demographic. The pioneers, the purists, and the older hip-hop generation do not connect to academics. He calls it hate, but they don't connect with you. It has nothing to do with hate, bruh. Because as I just stated, I loved DJ Academics when he first came out. But I don't like him now. Because I'm not connected. I don't feel connected to him. And anything that I stand for, he doesn't stand for. And that ain't got nothing to do with age. That ain't got nothing to do with age. Because I know there's plenty of young content creators out there that I rock with. But they treat hip-hop with respect. They treat hip-hop with humility. And they treat me with humility. And they treat me with respect. And they talk to me like I'm a big brother or like I'm Unc. DJ Academics has no respect for OGs unless there's somebody that got more money than him. And he don't even do that. And it's not even that. He has no respect for Jay-Z. Jay-Z has more money than him. But he knows that Jay-Z ain't going to come down and touch him. See, he'll have respect for somebody like 50 Cent because he knows 50 Cent will walk up on him. He knows Diddy will walk up on him. Right? So he knows LL Cool J. He's not richer than LL Cool J. And when LL told, he knows LL has a lot of respect in the hip hop world. Right? So why do they not connect? The same way I'm feeling, a lot of rappers and media people feel the same way because he's disrespectful to them. He disrespects Ebro. He disrespects Rosenberg. He disrespects everybody, all of the older dudes in media because then he won't disrespect somebody like Charlemagne because Charlemagne's making more money than him. He won't disrespect Joe because Joe makes more money than him or at least around the same amount. But somebody like Charlemagne who's older, but Charlemagne is making more money than him. When it comes to making money in the media game, Charlemagne right now is the big dog. He's the Stephen A. Smith of, let's say, urban content creating or urban host or whatever, podding, right? And the reason why they don't connect is they view hip-hop as a sacred culture built on respect, lyricism, and community. Act views hip-hop as a content form. To him, hip-hop is only numbers, data, streaming charts, and viral moments. That's what hip-hop is to Act. Numbers, data, streaming charts, and viral moments. And if an artist doesn't have the numbers, Act disses him and says, oh, they're trash, they're garbage. Right? And I'll tell you something, it's sad to see because the kid who started out grinding was a breath of fresh air. I'm not gonna lie. I really would be excited to go click whenever I see academics upload a new video. Oh, let me see what Act talking about. Let me hear this video. Let me see the video. He was a breath of fresh air. He was a person that said, you know what? You don't gotta be on the inside. You don't gotta go and go out and spend money 4 nights out the week to go to a party to interview celebrities. You can cover content from your couch, and guess what? You can get paid from it. Breath of fresh air. But when you feed the monster of internet fame long enough, you eventually become the monster. He traded the vibrant, entertaining hustle for a system built on toxicity, bias, agendas, and gatekeeping, a culture he never actually participated in. But that's just my take on it. So you guys can let me know what you feel about DJ Academics. Do you feel as though there's no issue with the way he does hip hop media, does hip hop journalism? Do you think that's cool because he, is on the side of your favorite artist? That's what the problem is. This has become a popularity contest, and nobody really gives a damn about hip hop. No one gives a damn about real hip hop media. It's just all about, oh, well, he likes my artist, and my artists don't like Jay-Z, so I'm on that side. He's telling the truth. But when he turns on you and starts talking mess about your artist, then all of a sudden you're not going to like him anymore. Now, let's get to this Beyonce thing. All right? Let's get to this Beyonce thing. And, I can't really show it because I'm not sure whether this is what I got dinged for. Okay? I'm not sure if this is what I got dinged for. The Sun is showing it. I think Daily Mail, the people who hate Beyonce, I don't feel no way about him. I don't listen to him, but he did mess up the hip hop market, how people receive new music in the hip hop because they be going based off his opinion. And that's not good, right? And when you, and the reason why they do that, Darius, is because when you got people saying, oh, this is the number one voice of hip hop, hey, you're gonna listen to him, right? Oh, they're telling me that he is the number one voice in hip hop. So if he says this is trash, he must know what he's talking about. If he says that, Drake is the best, then he must know what he's talking about because they said he's the number one voice in hip hop. That's kind of like a surgeon, right? If you're going out there and you're getting plastic surgery, right? And you're looking around and you need somebody, of course, you're going to want somebody you can trust if you're going to have them messing with your face, right? So the person that they say, somebody that went and got a good looking surgery, Kylie Jenner come up to you and say, hey, you need to go to Dr. So-and-so. He did my surgery. And you look at Kylie Jenner like, oh man, your BBL look good. It don't even really look like you got a BBL. Yeah, Dr. Miami did mine. So based on what people say, and you look on the thing and say, Dr. Miami is the #1 rated surgeon on the internet or what have you, you'll say, oh man, I got to go to Dr. Miami. He's got great reviews. Darius said music industry in general is doomed. No one really putting out groundbreaking music or working together. Right. And that's all. And I'm telling you, he has a lot to do with that. He fuels it. He doesn't say, I'm not saying that Nicki Minaj and Cardi B would have ever came together because they had their own issues. But DJ Academics doesn't help. He keeps that division. You know, Drake and Kendrick could never, ever make up or patch things up because you got people like DJ Academics that's out there. He don't want them to make up. He don't want Drake to work with him no more. He likes keeping this division. He likes the division. He likes the drama. That's where he gets all the clicks, when he can go and access the drama. So he plays a part in it. Now, this thing that's going around, this Marc Schaffel, right? He had, and you guys by now have all seen the footage, so there's no need of me going over it again. So I want to be sure that that's not what is striking my channel. But we've all seen the footage. You know, I saw the whole entire thing years ago. And I'm going to tell you why it disappeared off the internet, and I'm going to tell you why this is coming back now. All right. Marc Schaffel was working with Michael Jackson. He was doing a documentary type, reality show type thing with Michael, right? That's why you've seen the unseen footage. That's why, you know, you saw the footage of him talking about, look at the titties, look at the titties, look at the titties, boom, 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 against the window. All of that stuff was going to be a part of this documentary. So a lot of unseen footage of Michael Jackson, right, that he was going to use. This was one of the scenes. Now, we have seen this phone call before, but it was always cropped, so you could not tell she was sitting on somebody's lap. But now, all of a sudden, they come out and it gets released, and now it's being revealed that she was sitting on his producer's lap after he asked her, you want to sit on my, make it easier? Which I'm sure at that point, Beyonce probably just wanted to talk to Michael Jackson. So she probably just said, yeah, let me do it. I'm just going to be down here for a couple of seconds. Be sitting down for a couple of seconds. The moment it was over, she jumped up. But the point is, why now, after it's been shown on the internet all these years where it looked like it was her? I mean, you know, her just sitting there. So why all of a sudden now is it being released and you're seeing the full footage? Why now? Now, Marc Schaffel this was 2001. Marc Schaffel was later on that year fired by Michael Jackson, right? He was fired by Michael Jackson. And the reason why he was fired by Michael Jackson is because Michael Jackson found out that Marc Schaffel was doing things behind the scenes that was not in line with his brand. Okay? It wasn't in line with his brand. And when I say that is Marc Schaffel, Michael Jackson found out, was directing gay porn. And he didn't care that he was gay. Michael Jackson said, I found out he was gay, but I could care less that I found that he was gay. But gay porn is just not something that aligns with my image, that aligns with my demographic, and it's just not going to work. I can't work with someone who, you know, and Michael described what he saw Marc Schaffel doing. So Marc Schaffel is a gay man. Now, did Beyonce know that? Who knows? Who knows? Is that why she felt so comfortable sitting on his lap? You know, we're going to offer Beyonce out here. I mean, you see girls, you know, Saucy, Young Miami laying in the bed with Saucy Santana, you know, sleeping, laying on his chest. You used to see Karuchi with her best friend who is gay. They'd be dancing close on each other. She'd be sitting in his lap. So we don't know how Marc Schaffel talks. We don't know how he interacts. We don't know whether he made comments. But we've never seen Beyonce do that any other time. Right, Megan and Kellen. I thought Megan and Kellen was a couple. Where they be acting in the pool. I'm like, wait a minute. They act like a couple. You know what I mean? So did she feel comfortable because she knew he was gay? I don't know. But regardless of whether she knew he was or not, the amount of time this took place is getting way too, and it's not what she did, but she said the moment the phone call was over, Beyonce didn't sit there for an extra 10 seconds and still talk to him about the phone call. I could see if she was doing that. But she didn't do that. What she did was, the moment the phone call was over, she got up to basically let people know, basically let people know that she was only sitting down there because she wanted to get that phone call and she wanted to talk to Michael Jackson. Now, like I said, could he have said, I'm going to get up and you can sit here? Sure. Could she have said, no, I'm not sitting on your lap, get up? Sure. But she was in the moment. She wasn't thinking about sitting on this man's lap. Maybe because she knew he was gay. Or maybe because she felt as though it was totally innocent. We're going to get into that uniquely. And Sherry says that B.I. fans in 1997 was ridiculous. It took a moment we loved and made it out of the pocket. It was an innocent moment with her being happy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you got these people saying, oh, calling her an escort, saying, oh, where was her parents? Oh, Tina pimped her out. Like, she was 19 years of age. Oh, if she would sit down on his lap for a phone call, she wasn't sitting on his lap for a phone call. If she didn't sit on his lap, I'm very sure he would not have said, well, then you don't get the phone call then. He was dictating the phone call, speaking with her, and he was also still speaking. Now, like I said, could he have said, here, you want to sit down here? Sure. But if he is gay, he's not sitting Beyonce down to get a jolly. He's not even attracted to women. He's not sitting her down to, he felt her up. Oh, he did. So people are making this a way bigger thing than what it needs to be. And my question would be, why did this footage get released now? And then on top of that, some more unseen footage of Beyonce, who just won Album of the Year with a country album. And she's already taken scrutiny from certain country artists. There's unseen footage never seen before of Beyonce saying, I don't like country music. I never listened to country music. I never have. So now they've released that. And here's my guess to why all this is happening. And judging from the people I spoke to. First of all, I thought Marc Schaffel did it, so I contacted his people. So Marc Schaffel's people, according to them, say he had absolutely nothing to do with the release of this footage. Now, this was his footage, I believe. But according to what they said, a third party associated with Michael Jackson released the footage. Now, I also asked them why. I saw this footage fully in its entirety around the mid-2000s. Why did you remove it and then put like a cropped version? And their response back to me was this. And when you think about it, it sounds legitimate. They said Michael Jackson and Mark were in a very nasty legal fight. He sued Michael Jackson, I think, for $300,000 or 900,000. I think he sued him for 900,000. We ended up getting like 300,000, something like that, or he may have got 900,000. Then Michael Jackson countersued him, and I think got back 300,000, something like that. So the person told me he was not allowed to have himself, the footage of him, with Beyonce talking to Michael Jackson due to legalities. That's the reason why you saw the original one removed and like a cropped version where you couldn't see him was up there. Now I'm going to assume whatever footage they have, they're going to move forward with some sort of documentary about Michael Jackson and some of the unseen things. And apparently this scene is supposed to be in this documentary. But as far as why this footage is coming out now, I'm going to say this. Look for the news of Beyonce and Jay-Z partnering up to buy something back. Partnering up to buy something back, to bring it back to the Black community. It could be BET. They could be partnering to try to buy a team. Remember, she just got back the Davis, so she actually owns Davis now. They could have been trying to purchase their own. You're going to hear about it. I don't know exactly what it was, but you're going to hear in the next couple of months from the people I spoke to something that Jay-Z and Beyonce were going in, partnering together that people want to stop them. And you see this happen every single time somebody Black tries to own something. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. You're going to hear it in the oncoming months. Remember, you heard it here first. That Jay-Z and Beyonce are partnering together to buy something. And you see all the Black people laughing. And you see all the Black people and they do this and they put the footage out. They were probably made to put that footage out. They were probably threatened or paid to put that footage out. Same thing happened to Diddy when he was trying to buy, when he wanted to own Ciroc, his brand of Ciroc, and own DeLeon and wanted to partner in and bring BET back to the Black community. You saw what happened with him. See, if you partner up with somebody white, like Magic Johnson had to do, if you notice, Magic Johnson was one of those Black billionaires that were trying to partner and buy BET. Y'all remember? Oh, but Sherry, you gotta be careful because they're pulling stuff from 2000 because right now that's all they really have. But I'm gonna tell you, let me tell y'all what's about to happen. Let me tell you what's about to happen. So Magic Johnson, when he wanted to buy BET, if you notice, they made Magic Johnson. They basically denied Magic. It was going to be Magic Johnson, I believe Spike Lee, all black billionaires, Diddy, and Tyler Perry. I believe it was like Spike Lee, Tyler Perry, Diddy, and Magic Johnson. I think. Don't quote me. But they shut that down. Now you notice Magic Johnson partnered up with some white dudes and he was able to purchase the Dodgers because he's partnered with somebody white. Magic Johnson partnered up with somebody white and he was able to purchase the LA Sparks. All right. So as long as he's partnered with somebody white, oh, they'll let that go. And Project, you're right. And this is the reason why they put it out there and they throw it out to the most toxic social media platform where mostly blacks go and mostly people. What do you see mostly toxic of on Twitter? Either MAGA, who don't like Beyonce and Jay-Z, or Drake, Nicki Minaj fans who don't like Beyonce and Jay-Z. And those are the main people on Twitter. MAGA, Barbs, and Drake fans. They're the main people on Twitter pushing an agenda. Yeah, Taylor Swift has a lot of Swifties, but the Swifties just sit there and be quiet. They don't go around starting trouble with people. They just care about the only time you really hear the Swifties is when Taylor Swift is making music. Other than that, the Swifties don't really say nothing. When something happens with Taylor, they'll post Taylor's wedding, this, that, and the third. Other than that, the Swifties don't go around bothering people. So you just said something, right? Uniquely, you just said something that Jay-Z just did, and the black community is still on him, right? And this is why Jay-Z really don't give a damn about what the black community has to say and all that fake. Oh, he turned on us. He sold us out. Look what you do to them. Y'all been selling out the Carters. When his daughter had that premiere, and that white guy, Tony Busby, came and dropped that fake lawsuit and did it purposely on the night of Blue Ivy's premiere. He did that on purpose. He thought that if I do this on the night of her premiere, he does not want to deal with the embarrassment. He's going to settle, without a doubt. That's the reason why he waited to drop that lawsuit on that day. He wanted to make Jay-Z and Beyonce feel the fear of being humiliated, the fear of taking away from Blues Night. I'm getting pissed off. Now I keep reliving it. I'm getting pissed off and I'm getting upset. When you think about what Tony Busby tried to do, he tried to destroy not only their marriage, their reputation, and he didn't give a damn if it was Blue Ivy's night or not. He didn't give a damn. And you wonder why Jay-Z is still going after this guy? He didn't give a damn whether that 12-year-old girl's night was ruined and totally humiliated. He thought that if he did that, he knows how much Jay-Z loves his family and he knows how much he values his image. He had that lawsuit for weeks. When he stepped up before all the Diddy stuff went down and said, oh, we have lawsuits on other celebrities even bigger than Diddy. He had the Jay-Z BS back then. But he didn't drop it because he wanted to wait until a public event and drop it on that day. So Jay-Z would quickly settle because he didn't want Blue's embarrassment, and then that would make him look guilty. Because people would say, oh, if he's not guilty, why would he settle? But he found out Jay-Z's a different animal. They've been getting threats and slurs, yet a lot of people in the black community, especially the so-called advocates, have not spoken up. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then they want to say, oh, he sold out the black community. But they don't talk about what Jay-Z has done for them. You know why he's so-called not giving a damn about what the black community says? Because no matter what he's done for the black community, it's never enough. And it never gets acknowledged. But he goes and does a deal with Target, the same deal that a whole lot of other black artists have done. But Jay-Z is the only one that we talk about. Jay-Z is the only one they talk about. But they don't talk about what he's done with prison reform. They don't talk about what he did with the money that he got from the NFL. They don't talk about that. Let me find something. So, hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find this article. So Killer Mike, first was Fat Joe. Fat Joe said, to the audience, they're quick to criticize, but they completely forget that Jay-Z took that position to bridge the gap. He explained that because of Jay-Z's seat at the table, hip-hop acts like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Rihanna, and Kendrick Lamar were finally able to headline the Super Bowl on a historic scale. Joe reminded fans that before Jay-Z took the deal, the NFL wouldn't even look at hip-hop culture. And Jay-Z used that platform to generate hundreds of millions of dollars of cultural equity and leverage for our community. Killer Mike said during a major appearance on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, he said, people don't understand that Jay-Z has been a capitalist his entire career, but he's one of us that made it into those corporate boardrooms. He explained that Jay-Z play with the NFL gives the black community a real seat at the table. He added that the deal doesn't destroy what Colin Kaepernick kneeled for, because Kaepernick kneeled to stop state violence and police brutality, something that doesn't stop just because Jay-Z secures a corporate funnel to send millions back into social justice and community groups. Right? But people don't talk about that. Jay-Z arrangement forced the NFL to commit $100 million over a 10-year period directly to the Inspire Change Initiative. Ebro explained that this money goes straight to grassroots black organizations funding criminal justice reform, local community relations, and providing lawyers for individuals who are trapped in the system. He argued that Jay-Z isn't a token for the league. He's the one taking their multi-billion-dollar machine and making them fund black progress. All right? Well, Unique, the reason is that deal was that. This is something totally different. This move that they must be trying to make must be major. Right. And you see, you didn't know that, Unique, because nobody talks about it. The only thing you hear in people like DJ Academics, who has been slated as the main voice in hip hop, the only thing he did is, oh, Jay-Z did with Target. Jay-Z's a sellout. He's capitalist. And they hear him saying that, and he's got all the Drake fans, all the incels, all the weirdos. Yeah, Jay-Z's a sellout. The ones that don't even give a damn if they black, the ones that ain't even all the way black. He went against Target, bro. He went against the protest, bro. So that's the reason why you don't hear things like this, because they're not going to put it out there. And this is the reason why Jay-Z don't give a damn what black people say about him. And he shouldn't. And he shouldn't. Because how dare y'all right. Right, Sherry. How they think Drake got all the millions of dollars? Giving away his masters, giving away his rights. You heard him tell Johnny Blaze, "Oh, I'm in a slave. All I'm thinking about is this deal for Live Nation. They pretty much got me, slaving for them." That came right out of Drake's own mouth. Or phone, whatever you want to call it. They say Jay-Z's a sellout, but Drake is barking. He's on camera barking for a woman like he is auditioning for Coming to America. But that's not cringe. But they're taking a video when she was an adult. Now notice, if this had been Cassie, oh, she's such a victim. Oh, look, she's afraid to get up. Oh, no, oh, look. They groomed her. They took advantage of her. Right? That if it was anybody else, they would be saying, "Oh, look at her. She's scared. A room full of men. She's scared to get up off his lap. She sat down on his lap because she was afraid. She was intimidated. Look, she's the victim." But no, Beyonce. Oh, look what she'll do for fame. Oh, she's an escort. Oh, she's a whore. Oh, so everybody else is a victim. Everybody else is the victim. But Beyonce is a whore. But when Cassie was making her own decisions at 21, oh, Diddy groomed her. You're not even fully grown at 21. Diddy cursed her. Diddy groomed her. She's the victim. But Beyonce's not a victim. She's the only one that's not a victim. It's sad. So I say to the Beehive, y'all need to get back in old Beehive mode and go to bat for your girl, because as you can see, none of these celebrities, none of these activist groups are going to come out and defend Jay-Z and Beyonce. None of them. Because secretly, a lot of them probably are waiting for them to fall on their damn self. Sad to say. But that is the crab in the barrel, N-word mentality. A lot of them probably don't say nothing, but when they see stuff like this, they probably rubbing their hands together like, good. Good, I can't stand that. She need to be humbled. She's already humble. The one thing I'll never understand, shit, good, somebody need to humble her. Why? She basically the most non-problematic superstar. She don't bother nobody. She don't do interviews. She's not on social media ranting. Why does she need to be humble? Who are you to say she needs to be humble? She acts pretty humble to me. Always bigging up people who came before her. Always giving the women that came before her props. She seems pretty humble to me. I don't see Taylor Swift bringing on women that came before her. I don't see Barbara Streisand, bringing on the women that came before or shouting out the younger girls. Beyonce does it all the time. And it's the same black community that's talking about, oh, he sold us out. They're the same ones who were saying she ain't really had her babies. They were the same ones saying her kids are slow. Same ones that are saying Jay-Z was on the Epstein list. Same ones that say, oh, Beyonce is a robot. Oh, Beyonce, Jay-Z started dating Beyonce when she was 16. Just making up rumors and making up non-facts. Yeah, Cadillac Records, you know what I'm saying? They'll be messed up. They'll bring stuff from next they've already tried the AI stuff. Remember, she's in a sex tape, a threesome sex tape with Jay-Z and Diddy. Then they had that AI screenshot. Y'all ain't seen that? And these people are paying no consequence. None. They had a fake story saying, oh, King Combs exposes Beyonce. She's not in it. Put in quotes. She's not innocent. And the thing, and I'm gonna do it again. And y'all can call her out. I don't know whether you following her or what. Let me tell you something. Yvette, what's her name? Let me tell you something. They need to hire me. Yvette Noel Sure, or whatever the hell how you pronounce your name. And I don't care who gets mad, and I don't care who disagrees. You are the worst. You're the worst publicist ever. You sit back and allow these things to be said about your number one client, the person who's pretty much changed your life and made you a millionaire? Where is your publicist? Where is Beyonce's publicist to say this is BS? This chick right here. This broad right here. All you're doing is collecting a check because you ain't doing nothing. This is supposed to be Beyonce's publicist. Where are you at? You're sitting back. You come up and a couple of months ago, she jumped in the comments. Oh, no, that's not true. She's not working on an album. That's what you come to defend? Oh, that's false. She's not working on an album. So you jump in the comments to defend that, to debunk that. That's what you come to debunk? She's not working on an album. Oh, that's not true. That's false. Where are you with all of this stuff? The worst. At this point, she's just collecting a check. She does nothing for Beyonce. Nothing. When that whole thing happened with Chloe, and Chloe's popping up and doing the shimmy shimmy cocoa pop at Kanye West's concert, and everybody was dragging Chloe through the cold. Isn't Chloe your client too? What the hell are you a publicist for? What is a publicist for? Publicists were originally called fixers. Fixers. That is a publicist's original name. Fixers. And you know what their job was? The moment you saw negative publicity about your client, your job was to immediately debunk it. That's your job as a publicist. Beyonce and Jay-Z, do y'all need a digital publicist? Hire me. I guarantee you'll see a difference. I'll debunk everything immediately. Because this whole sitting back and, oh, we're too above that shit ain't working no more. Because all of the media has moved to social media. Even Diddy knew that. You can no longer just say, oh, we're just going to ignore it. We're just going to ignore it. No, don't ignore it. Debunk it. Come out, make one statement. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I'm going to address this one time and one time only. That's bullshit. And that's all I got to say. That's all. I'm going to address this one time. If any of y'all believe that bullshit, y'all dumber than I thought. That's all. What's wrong with that? That's the reason why that's the reason why he getting ridiculous lawsuits against him. That's the reason why people are coming out here and putting these AI pictures of her and Diddy, because they feel as though, oh, they're never going to respond because they don't respond to AI stuff. That's why Nicki Minaj felt so comfortable doing the things that she was doing. That's why Jaguar Wright's retarded ass feels so comfortable saying what she says. You can still keep a tight circle. But unfortunately, like I said, it used to be a time where it's saying, you know what? So what? It's just on social media. Well, what's happening is this thing with this picture, because it's trending so much on social media, it's going to make it to mainstream media. Because what does mainstream media do right now? Mainstream media gets all their news from the internet. Mainstream media don't break no stories no more. Every time I watch the news, which I don't watch it very often, but when you watch the news now, whenever they got a story that they're breaking, it's either from a Twitter feed, from a YouTube feed, or, oh, this was captured on someone's Instagram. All of their news stories come from somebody's social media. So the mainstream media will eventually address this footage, if they haven't done it already. Here's the thing, Bougie. Again, if you're not in the public eye, if you don't care to be in the public eye, what you said works. If Jay-Z is planning to be in the public eye and Beyonce's planning on being in the public eye, that don't work no more. That don't work no more. If you're sitting back and say, you know what? Like, if you're like Eddie Murphy, right? Let's take Eddie Murphy. Yeah, what's said on social media don't affect Eddie Murphy because he ain't outside no more. Eddie Murphy ain't outside no more. He don't go to no events. He don't go to no parties. He just stays in his house and goes up to the street to get coffee and go back to his house. So yeah, it won't affect Eddie Murphy. If Beyonce said, I'm retired, if Beyonce was like Eminem, let's say Eminem, right? Eminem don't come outside no more. Foxy Brown, she don't come outside no more. So what's said on the internet don't affect Foxy Brown because she don't come outside. She don't do events. She ain't putting out music. Beyonce's getting ready to put out another project. She's getting ready to put out another project. And media and publicity now is all about algorithms. Algorithms. And if all you see is a whole bunch of negative stuff in the algorithms, it will affect you. It will affect you. Now, if you ain't trying to be outside, then that's something different. If you say, you know what, I don't give a damn. I ain't doing no more concerts nowhere. I done put out my last album already. I'm not putting out no more music. I'm not doing no more concerts, so I don't need nobody to buy no tickets. So say whatever. Yeah, if you on it like that, sure. But times have changed. Times have changed. You got to change with the times. If you're still going to play, it's just like basketball. It's just like basketball. Remember Dwight Howard? Dwight Howard was saying, oh, I've been 6'11" my whole career. Just throw it to me and I'll just dunk it. But as basketball started changing, what happened to Dwight Howard? He was pretty much phased out the league because we not dumping the ball down to big men no more. Big men shoot threes now, nigga. Big men shoot threes now. If you ain't shooting no threes, you ain't gonna have no spot on this team. I know what you did 12 years ago, 13 years ago. What worked for you the first 10 years and the first 11 years. Well, guess what? We don't play basketball like that no more. Joker 7'1", he's shooting threes. Embiid is 7'1", he's shooting threes. And if you ain't willing to adjust, one or two things will have to happen. You either retire or you ain't going to be on this team. You're going to be out the league. It's the same way with music. It's the same way with music. It's the same way. That old stuff, that old mentality don't work no more. That's what I'm saying, Sherry. You see what just happened to Desiree, right? My point exactly. Desiree Perez needs to pop out and show niggas. I'm sorry. She needs to pop out and say, listen, the next person that roll up on me, you getting clapped. And I don't mean fucked. I mean clap like old heads they clap. The next person that walk up on me, I'm clapping your ass. All that stuff that's happening at Rock Nation right now came from online. Academics, what's the dirt, all the stuff that those people are putting out there. Oh, Desiree Perez is demonic. Oh, Desiree Perez this. Desiree Perez is after. Desiree Perez locked up Tory. Desiree Perez. All of that stuff starts from online. Now you got some lunatic who following academics, following Drake, following OVO. You look back at his follow list. Look at all the people he following. Academics TV, Academics, Drake, OVO. Now you got people gonna run up and be a vigilante. The same thing just happened to Drake with the battle. People went and shot 3 shots through his door because it was going around on the internet that he was living there and that he got a bunch of PDFs living on their block. We don't want no PDFs in this neighborhood. We gonna go take care of it ourselves. Same thing happened with Pizzagate. Y'all remember Pizzagate? That information that started online? You remember what the dude did? When he was convinced that Obama and Hillary Clinton that's what I'm saying, Bougie. They got to make them the wrong person. They got to say, yeah, we the wrong people. I remember about 8 years ago, this was during the time that these people, this is when Nicki fans were in it with Cardi fans, and people were doxing people, and people were running up on people's homes and stuff like that. Running up on these dudes on TikTok, right? Y'all remember the white boy on TikTok that was talking shit about Nicki Minaj, and then the Barbs found out where he lived, and please, oh, I'm sorry. You know, they came to his house, then he pussied out because they showed up at his house, right? But then, y'all remember the Barb that showed up at that person's house and they pulled the gun out and fired at their ass? Look that story up. You ain't heard a Barb run up on a house since. They lucky they got out of there with their life. Lucky they got out there with their life. And it's the same thing that happened when they doxed my daughter's mother. They thought I was gonna, she doxed me. Oh, this and that girl Kunta Kampatia or whatever the hell her name is, that used to say she talked to the dead. And Nicki Minaj followed her because she used to like when she would dox people and tell people, oh, you gonna die and stuff like that. If you don't support Nicki Minaj, you gonna die. She told me that I was going to die in 6 months. She said that 12 years ago. Right? Cup of T.O., whatever the hell her name is. So she doxed my daughter's mother. And then she said, there go their address, Bobs. Go get them. Right? There go his address. Bobs, you know what to do. So what I did was I finished the address for him because she didn't put the condo number. She just put the community address. So our daughter's mother living in a gated community. She just put the community address. And I just finished the address for her. So, you got to have the number to the condo. And I'm having a lunch on Friday. Matter of fact, here, just take the address. Since you done put out the first part of it, take the full address. Since they said they coming. Oh, we pull up to his house. That's what they said. Whole bunch of barbs said they would pull up to my house. It was actually my daughter's mother's house. I said, make sure you come. Don't want to be late for lunch. I'm having a lunch on Friday. And all y'all are invited. Whoever wants to come. But I told them, make sure you say goodbye to your folks when you come. Because I promise you, if you show up at my daughter's house, it will be your last road trip. I promise you. It will be your last road trip. They didn't come. They didn't come. I was waiting for them to come. Because I had seen how they showing up at people's house. So I thought, oh, okay, maybe they're going to show up at my daughter's house. No, it wasn't. Wasn't nobody in the industry. That was her fan base. Was nobody in the industry. Nobody in the industry do stuff like that. Nobody in the industry does stuff like that. That was that same girl that said I was going to die 11 years ago. Said, oh, we don't care what he says, Barbs. He's going to die. He's dying in 6 months from complications from when he used to do drugs in the 90s. I ain't never took a drug in my life. I ain't never even smoked a blunt. So I knew, I was like, you a lie, but okay. If I have complications, it definitely won't be from drugs. Because I ain't never smoked a drug in my life. Never. So you a lie. But Yvette knows, sir, whatever the hell your name is, Beyonce and Jay-Z, holler at me. Holler at me. I could do a better job from my damn chair than this chick do. She is the worst publicist I've ever seen, especially for a superstar. Remember when Ray J friend said that he found Whitney Houston? You remember Ray? I forgot who Ray J's publicist was at that time. She jumped out there so damn fast. No, he did. That wasn't Ray J. That was Ray Whitney Houston's brother. That publisher said, Ray J didn't find no Whitney Houston. What you talking about? Called Ray J's friend a liar and everything. She did her job. What up, Marcel? She did her job as a publicist. All of a sudden, everybody stopped talking about Ray J finding Whitney Houston. The narrative changed because her publicist jumped out. That's a publicist's job. You're going to sit back and allow these rumors, allow AI rumors, the AI screenshot with Diddy, and you don't say nothing. But then when somebody said, oh, I heard Beyonce album is coming out next week, you're going to jump up. That's not true. That's not true. So you jump out and debunk an album coming out, but you don't say shit with the rumors and the gossip. Dumbass. The worst. The worst publicist ever. Crazy. But that's the reason for why these things are dropping. I'll have full video on the Patreon explaining more in detail. It's patreon.com/the IE network. All right. So we covered what happened to DJ Academics, and then the Beyonce situation, why these things were dropped, why the other footage. Get ready, because that old footage of Jay-Z that's about 20 years old, you're about to see two things resurface. The pictures with him and Gwyneth Paltrow, that's getting ready to come back. And the one where they said he slapped the girl, they said, oh, he slapped one of his fans, but it really wasn't a fan. It was the girl, Shaka, or whatever her name is, that's been working with him for years. And they already addressed that like 10 years ago. But every 5 or so years, that thing resurfaces and it says, remember that time Jay-Z slapped a woman? That's going to be coming back. So that, and don't forget the footage of when Jay-Z and Diddy is in Diddy's house, and Diddy's coming out of the back room, and Jay-Z saying, yeah, you put that thing on him, boy. And they tried to paint the narrative that, oh, there was a bunch of little girls. Those were Diddy's daughters. But they try to show the clip real quick, so you'll start thinking that, oh, why is Jay-Z giving Diddy a pound, talking about you put that thing on him? And there's people so stupid, they don't even go and research the clip. They just believe it. That's the mentality of the people walking around today. That's why the world's so fucked up. Because we got stupid people. You got stupid people and they having stupid kids. So when you get a stupid person that don't do no research, just believe the first thing they hear, and they go hook up with somebody just as stupid, then they have a stupid child. And that's how the world gets fucked up. Because nobody likes to read. Nobody wants to look up anything. They just want to take the first thing they see. When they only want research. They only want research when it's about somebody that they like. That's the only time. Oh, you got receipts? You got receipts? But it's somebody they don't care about. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. But when it's somebody they like, you got receipts? Where's the proof? Where's your proof? So all the Beyonce fans, the JD fans, those are the things that's going to be coming back up. I already see it creeping through the algorithm. They're going to say, oh, Jay-Z and Diddy. There was a bunch of little girls in the room, and Jay-Z came out of the room talking about you put that thing on them. And it was Diddy's daughters with their friends that he had over for them. Meanwhile, outside, that was the same day of the Grammy brunch. Outside on Diddy's house was the adults. And they were all celebrating the Grammys. They had a Grammy brunch, and they were outside. And Diddy had his daughter's friends over for his daughters, and they were inside. But people don't look at that, right? All right, y'all. $ Heaven Hollywood. People, that's my cash app is $ Heaven Hollywood. Everybody can go there and donate $1 to the stream. $ Heaven Hollywood cash app. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna drop video on the Patreon, y'all. And if you're not following me on Twitch, make sure you get twitch.tv/Heaven Hollywood, because the stream that you see on YouTube, you're going to lose the stream at some point, and you're only going to be able to see the remainder if you're on the Patreon or if you follow me on Twitch. All right? So, Diana Young, support the stream. You know I love you. Sherry Sugar, thank you. And Unique. Great stuff, man. Everybody that came through. Desi, Darius, Marcel. Everybody that in the stream, go on over to my Cash App and donate $2, $3. Come on, y'all. Help your boy out. You know, YouTube demonetize a nigga. But I'm still here for y'all. All right. Y'all be ready. Beyonce fans, y'all keep your head, hold your heads up and come together and defend your girl, because these Negroes out here ain't no help. All right. Love you guys. Peace. Oh, there's been another installment of the Heaven Hollywood Experience. Or actually, the Culture Check. That's right.